A father named Roger was separated from his 4-year-old son at the border. They didn't see each other again for 5 agonizing months. Roger, who asked that we not use his last name, spoke about the ordeal at a press conference as he held his son tight in his lap. He says he requested asylum at a U.S. port of entry. He was detained, and his son was sent to a different facility.
La única manera que yo para lograrme comunicar con mi hijo fue que les dije que me iba a suicidar.
Roger says he was so desperate to speak with his child, he threatened suicide, taking a blade to his wrist to show authorities he was serious. Pablo Ortiz was separated from his 3-year-old.
Él no puede hablar nada también. No puedo hablar nada y yo hablo con él y papi, ¿cómo está?
Ortiz says the boy is so young he couldn't really communicate by phone. The few times they talked, he mostly just said papi into the receiver. Both fathers were reunited with their sons just before a court-ordered deadline, which compelled the government to reunify children under 5 with their parents. They were dropped off at Annunciation House, a migrant shelter in El Paso. Roger says he and his son were so happy to be together, they couldn't sleep that night. Annunciation House is one of many groups on the ground working hard to make those reunions happen. Shalani Thomas volunteers with the Annunciation House legal team.
Our role is one of many advocates that these parents have to help navigate this process.
They rented out an office space in downtown El Paso, a temporary command center. Thomas says the reunification process was poorly managed by the government.
It's a bureaucratic mess. The more advocates they have, especially if we're all in communication with each other, the quicker this process is going to be.
Taylor Levy is the legal coordinator for Annunciation House. She says the first round of reunions for children under 5 was chaotic. Levy describes the last-minute hustle to book a flight for a 3-year-old. There was lots of back and forth about who had to pay for her ticket. Annunciation House booked a flight through a donor.
And also, this little girl, all the trauma she suffered in the first place, she was going to be transported, escorted and guarded by someone she already knew.
That guardian was supposed to be a staff member at the shelter where she'd been staying. Then the government agency in charge, the Office of Refugee Resettlement, said it was going to pay, booked a different flight, and assigned someone else to escort her.
And so then, instead, this 3-year-old got picked up by a perfect stranger.
Amid frustrations like that, Levy and her team say they will do everything they can to speed up the process and set more reunions in motion. For KRWG, I'm Mallory Falk.